The water is full of mouths. A hatchling the size of a bottle cap is swimming for her life through the shallows. And beneath her, rising out of the dark, something opens to take her. She has been alive for less than a day. She has no mother to call. No one is coming to help. There never was anyone. And in the next 2 seconds, she will either be the 1 in 1,000 that lives, or one of the 999 that don't. How does a creature this small, this alone, born already abandoned, survive even her first day on Earth? To understand how Mira ended up here, in the water, with the mouth rising beneath her, we have to go back to where she began, back underground, in the dark, before she had ever seen the sky. On a beach like 1,000 others, under a moon like any other, 100 eggs lie buried beneath the sand. 2 months ago, a mother turtle came ashore in the dark, dug a chamber with her back flippers, laid her eggs, covered them, and crawled back into the sea. She will never see them. She will never know if a single one survives. That is not cruelty. It is simply how it has always been. For a sea turtle, motherhood ends at the moment of burial, so the eggs are on their own. And one of them holds a hatchling we will call Mira. She has never breathed air. She has never seen light. And the world she is about to enter has already decided the odds against her. Of every 1,000 hatchlings that leave a beach like this, only one will live to grow up. One. The other 999 will be gone, most of them within a single day. The first day is the deadliest day a sea turtle will ever live. This is the story of that day. Mira's first 24 hours, and the question that hangs over every second of it: will she be the one? Mira's first act of survival happens before she has ever seen the sky. She breaks out of her shell into total darkness, buried 1/2 meter beneath the sand, and immediately she faces her first way to die. She can suffocate down here, crushed under the weight of the beach before she ever reaches the surface. She cannot dig her way out alone. She is too small. The sand would simply fall back and bury her. But she is not the only one. All around her, dozens of her siblings are breaking free at the same moment. And this is the secret of how they live. They climb together. The hatchlings at the top scratch at the ceiling of sand. The ones in the middle pack it down beneath their feet. The whole nest rises, slowly, like a single body, lifting itself up through the dark. It takes days of climbing, in shifts, in blackness, toward a surface none of them has ever seen. And then, near the top, instinct does something strange. They stop. Just below the surface, the whole nest goes still and waits, because to come out now, in the heat of the day, is to die. The sand above them is too hot, the sky too bright, the predators too awake. So they wait for a signal. They wait for the sand above them to turn cold. And cold sand means one thing: night. When the cold finally reaches them, the nest erupts. Mira breaks the surface into open air for the first time in her life. And the most dangerous run she will ever make has just begun. The beach is wide. The sea is far. And between them lies open sand, with no cover at all. Mira does the only thing her instinct knows. She runs for the brightest, lowest horizon, because over open ocean, the sky always glows faintest with starlight, and that glow has guided hatchlings to the water for 100 million years. She runs. All of them run. A flood of tiny bodies pouring down the beach toward the sound of the waves. And the beach is watching. The ghost crabs were waiting. They live in burrows along this beach for exactly this night. And they move sideways out of the dark. Fast. Claws open. One of Mira's siblings is taken an arm's length to her left. Another vanishes into a burrow behind her. The open sand that looked empty is now alive with hunters, and there is nothing any hatchling can do but keep moving and hope the crab takes the one beside her instead. This is the cruel arithmetic of the run. Mira survives this stretch of beach not because she is faster than the crabs. She is not. But because there are so many hatchlings at once that the hunters cannot take them all. She is alive because she is one of a crowd. She is alive because of the ones who are not. She keeps going. The roar of the surf gets louder. The sand grows damp under her flippers. And then the eastern sky begins, very faintly, to turn gray. The sun is coming, and with the sun comes a new kind of hunter. One that does not crawl. One that flies. Speed is everything now. A hatchling that reaches the water before dawn has a chance. A hatchling, still on the open sand, when the light comes, is a meal waiting to happen. Because the birds wake with the sun. Gulls, frigate birds. They patrol this beach every morning of hatching season, and they know exactly what the dawn reveals. A beach scattered with tiny, slow, exhausted bodies, completely exposed under an open sky. The slowest hatchlings never make it. They are plucked from the sand in full daylight, in plain sight of the sea they almost reached. Mira is not the fastest, but she is not the slowest either. And on this beach, in this dawn, that is the whole difference between living and dying. Not strength, not size, just being a little ahead of the one behind you. She reaches the wet sand where the waves break. The cold foam touches her for the first time. She has crossed the beach. She has survived the crabs and outrun the dawn. And now she faces something that does not hunt her, does not want to eat her, and can kill her anyway. The sea itself. The first wave throws her back. To a hatchling the size of a coin, a breaking wave is a wall of water taller than a building. It picks her up, flips her over, and hurls her back onto the sand she just fought so hard to cross. She rights herself. She tries again. The second wave throws her back, too. This is where exhaustion starts to kill. Every wave demands everything she has, and she has been moving, digging, climbing, running, for days without food, on nothing but the last of the yolk still inside her body. But Mira has one thing built into her that almost nothing else does. A switch flips. Scientists call it the swimming frenzy. A burst of pure, relentless energy that takes over a hatchling the moment she hits the water. For the next hours, she will swim without stopping, without resting, driving straight out to sea, because the longer she stays near this shore, the more certain her death becomes. She times the next wave better. She dives under it instead of over it. The water closes over her head, and for the first time in her life, Mira is swimming. The beach falls away behind her, but the shallows she is swimming into are the most dangerous water in the entire ocean for something her size. This is the place the hook began. The near-shore shallows, a narrow band of water between the beach and the open sea, and the single deadliest stretch a hatchling will ever cross. Because everything that eats hatchlings knows they come from here, the water fills with predators drawn to the dawn. Fish that have learned, over thousands of years, that the morning after a hatching, this water runs thick with tiny swimming meals. Mira swims straight through them. She has no choice. The open sea is on the other side, and there is no way around. A predatory fish rises out of the deep beneath her, mouth opening, the exact moment we saw at the very beginning. For one instant, everything hangs. Imagine being the size of a bottle cap, hours old, alone in the entire ocean, with a mouth the size of your whole world opening below you. And then Mira does the only thing left. She dives. Not up, away from it. Down, straight past it, into the dark, where it doesn't expect her to go. The mouth snaps shut on nothing but water. She kicks. She drives down and out, past the predator, past the reef, into deeper and bluer water. And behind her, the shallows full of mouths begin, at last, to fall away. She has crossed the gauntlet. Of the 100 hatchlings that left the nest with her, almost none have made it this far. Mira is one of the last few still swimming. She does not stop. The swimming frenzy carries her for hours, straight out, away from every shore, until the beach is gone, and the bottom is gone, and there is nothing around her but open ocean in every direction. And then, far out, she finds it, a raft of seaweed drifting on the current. And this is where a baby sea turtle is meant to be. Hidden in the floating weed, far from the hunters of the shore, she can finally rest. She can finally feed. The open sea, which tried so hard to kill her, is now the only thing keeping her safe. Her first day is over. She survived the dark beneath the sand. She survived the crabs and the dawn birds. She survived the surf and the mouths in the shallows. She is alive. She does not know how rare she is. She does not know that almost every hatchling she was born with is already gone. She only knows the rhythm of the swell and the shelter of the weed and the pull of the current carrying her out into a life that may last 80 years. If she is the one, truly the one in 1,000, then in 25 years, a full-grown turtle will come ashore in the dark on a beach exactly like this one. She will dig a chamber with her back flippers. She will lay her eggs. She will cover them and crawl back into the sea. And it will be this beach, the same sand she crossed on her first and most dangerous night, returned to at last by the one hatchling who lived. The sea takes almost all of them. It did not take Mira. Mira lived through her first day. But all across the world, on this same morning, other lives were beginning against odds just as cruel, and some of them far crueler. A chick on a cliff edge with no way down, a cub born in the path of the flood, a fawn that has minutes, not hours, to learn to run. Some of them lived. Some of them were the one. Follow the channel. The next story of survival is already beginning.